Chapter 70. Subjugation of the Peacock. Gao Jinang could not last long, fighting against 5 weapons with his single lance. He ran away, and when he saw the 5 generals close behind, he jerked his bag wide open, releasing swarms of wasps and centipedes. Wen Ping pulled his horse back as if to run away, but Chong Heihu stopped him. "Don't worry. I'm here. Look what I have." He opened the gourd on his back, and thick black smoke poured out. Thousands of fierce hawks then flew into the sky and quickly devoured all the wasps and centipedes. Gao Jinang screamed back at him. "How dare you destroy my magic insects?" He turned his horse and engaged the 5 generals again. Huang Feihu played his lance wonderfully, missing the Shang general by only inches. Hearing the war cries outside, Kong Shan asked, "Whom is General Gao fighting against?" "He is encircled by 5 generals." An officer answered. Kong Shan rushed to the front, intending to help Gao Jinang. But it was already too late. Thoroughly exhausted, Gao was stabbed in the side by Huang Feihu. He fell from his horse, and his head was sliced off. As they were just about to return, the 5 generals heard shouting from behind. "You damned fools! Don't run away. I'm coming." Kong Shan rushed over, and Huang Feihu swore at him. "You really are a damned fool. You have no idea what's happening here. There's no use talking to you. You're as low as the weeds and grass at my feet. Turn your ox over to me." Kong Shan replied with a smile. Facing the 5 generals, Kong Shan thought, "I'd better act first. Any delay may mean danger for me." He took all 5 generals with one sweep of the 5 light beams at his back. Jiang Ziya was astounded when he heard that all 5 had been taken. He said, "Though we killed Gao Jinang, we've now lost 5 generals. What shall we do? We must withdraw from the fight for the time being." Entering his camp, Kong Shan waved his light beams to release the prisoners. They were locked up with the others in the back. Now that he was alone, Kong Shan did not challenge the enemy. He just blocked the way. When Yang Jian arrived with the food supplies, he was surprised to see the army camped before the mountain. "How is it that we haven't moved forward?" he wondered. Hearing that Huang Tianhua had been killed and many others captured, Yang Jian began to fume with rage. "Would you please go to the front tomorrow so we can find out what Kong Shan really is? We can then deal with him accordingly," he said to Jiang Ziya. Yang Jian went to see Nengong Kuo and Wu Ji. They told him that Huang Feihu, Hong Jin, Ne Jia, and Thunderbolt had all been taken by Kong Shan, and that their whereabouts were unknown. "I still have the demon exposing mirror. I can use it on Kong Shan when Commander Jiang meets him tomorrow," Yang Jian said. The next day, Jiang Ziya left the camp to meet Kong Shan. "Rebel, I won't do any battle with you. I'm going only to block your way until you run out of food supplies," Kong Shan said to Jiang Ziya. Standing under the banners, Yang Jian used his mirror to take a close look at Kong Shan. He saw something in variegated colors, like a piece of agate, rolling to and fro. When he saw that Yang Jian was looking at him in a mirror, Kong Shan laughed. "Yang Jian, come closer so you can see more clearly. A brave warrior mustn't do things stealthily. Look at me straight through the mirror." Yang Jian moved closer and held the mirror up to look at Kong Shan, but he only got the same image as before. Yang Jian stared perplexedly until Kong Shan finally lost his patience. He spurred his horse forward to attack Yang Jian. Yang Jian grew anxious after 30 rounds, as he could neither find out the identity of this general nor beat him. He released his sky-barking hound, but the hound only floated in the air before falling into the light beams at Kong Shan's back. Wei Hu appeared to help Yang Jian with his monster-subduing club, but it also disappeared into the red light. Realizing the seriousness of the situation, Yang Jian quickly sped away through a golden light beam. "Yang Jian, even you, with your ability to effect transformations, run in terror. Come back and meet me again," Kongshan shouted loudly. Li Jing appeared from behind Jiang Ziya with the next attack. Kong met him with his cutlass, and after several rounds, Li Jing threw his gold pagoda up in the air. But this magic pagoda disappeared like all the others when Kong waved the yellow light. "Don't go away, Li Jing. I've got you now." Kongshan screamed at him. When they saw their father being taken captive, both Jingjia and Mujia rushed over. "Damn you, Kongshan! How dare you hurt our father?" Kongshan turned his cutlass against them. After just 3 rounds, Jingjia took out his invisible dragon stake, and Mujia his hooks of Wu, but Kong ignored them. Shrugging his shoulders, his red light beam took both the stake and the hooks. The 2 generals had no time to run away. Jiang Ziya was furious to have lost so many disciples. He cried, "Kongshan, you bastard! I'm not afraid of you. There are many talented people on Mount Kunlun ready to help us." He raced up on his nondescript horse to engage Kongshan. When Kongshan swept his green light at him, he unrolled the yellow apricot flag, which protected him with thousands of golden lotus flowers. Deng Chanyu then grabbed a pebble and threw it at Kongshan's face. Seriously wounded, Kongshan pulled his horse around, intending to flee back to camp, but Princess Longji stepped in with her phoenix sword and stabbed him in the left shoulder. He cried in pain and nearly fell from his horse. Defeated, he ran back to his camp. Safe in his tent, Kongshan cured his wounds and released both the captured weapons and generals onto the ground. He put away the magic weapons and ordered that Li Jing, Jingjia, and Mujia be put in prison. Returning to camp, Jiang Ziya found Yang Jian had already returned. "How did you get away?" he asked. "Kongshan's light beams are difficult to cope with, so I fled in a stream of golden light," Yang Jian replied. Seeing Yang Jian made him feel a little better. But Jiang was still worried. He said to himself, "I remember what my master told me about the immortal slaughtering trap at Jiapai Pass, but now this Kongshan has held us up for such a long time. What can I do?" Just then King Wu's attendant arrived to invite him to the back camp. King Wu said to him, "We've lost many battles here. You are responsible for 600,000 soldiers. They left their parents, wives, and children to fight for West Qi. I have left my mother and am unable to serve her as a filial son, disobeying the wishes of our late king. Commander, don't you think it's better to withdraw and let the other nobles do as they please?" "You're right, Your Highness. But I am afraid that would be against the will of heaven," Jiang Ziya answered hesitatingly. "If heaven were with us, we wouldn't have had all this trouble." Jiang Ziya was moved by King Wu's words and gradually lost his determination to keep up the fight. He returned to his tent and issued the order. "Reduce the cooking stoves tonight." This simple order alarmed everyone, because it was then clear that the army would withdraw. Everyone began to pack up, but no one dared to discuss why. At the second watch that night, Lu Ya arrived in a flurry. "I'll see your commander at once," he told the guards. Jiang Ziya came out to meet him, and they entered the camp hand in hand. When he noticed that Lu Ya was still panting, Jiang Ziya asked, "Why are you in such a hurry? I heard that you were going to withdraw, so I had to come as quickly as possible. You can't retreat. That would only place your disciples in danger. This has all been destined by heaven," Lu Ya replied. Jiang Ziya could not decide what to do, even after listening to Lu Ya. Finally, he just issued the order. The army is to remain camped here, awaiting for further orders. King Wu, learning of Lu Ya's arrival, came out anxiously to meet him. He asked his opinion about the matter. "You don't understand the will of heaven. For every skilled general, there's another one that can overcome him. Everyone has his vanquisher. Don't worry about Kongshan, but think about those generals who have been taken captive. They might all die if you leave now," Lu Ya warned. King Wu dared not mention their plan to withdraw again. The next morning when Kongshan came to challenge them, Lu Ya said to Jiang Ziya, "I'll meet him to find out what he really is." Dressed in full armor, Lu Ya asked, "Are you General Kongshan?" "Yes, I am." "You can't stand up to heaven on your own. It will be too late for regrets when someone more powerful comes along." Lu Ya said, "You're as stupid as a log. How can you recognize heaven above or people on the earth?" Kongshan answered with a laugh. He attacked Lu Ya with his cutlass, and Lu returned the blow with his sword. Lu was just about to uncover his gourd to release the immortal beheading sword when he saw that Kongshan's beams coming. Lu Ya turned himself into a rainbow and ran away. He returned to camp and reported to Jiang Ziya, "Oh, this is terrible. I don't know what he is either." Kongshan was unwilling to give up the fight. He yelled loudly, demanding to see Jiang Ziya, but Jiang refused to appear. Arriving at the camp gate with his load of food supplies, Earth Traveler Sin also heard the curses. He yelled angrily, "Bloody bastard! How dare you insult my commander!" Without another word, Earth Traveler Sun ran over and lifted his cudgel to beat Kongshan. At the sight of a dwarf only 3 feet high, Kongshan laughed. "What a funny creature you are, coming to play with me." He waved his cutlass at the dwarf. Earth Traveler Sun was small but very quick. He jumped lithely about, wearing out Kongshan after just 3 rounds. The dwarf general decided to trick his opponent. He leapt away and said, "Kongshan, it's difficult for you to fight me from your horse. Why don't you dismount?" Kongshan thought nothing of the dwarf but did believe that he was speaking honestly. He thought, "That poor dwarf is doomed to die. I can just kick him to death." Jiang Ziya heard the news that they were fighting out front, and fearing that food transportation might be affected, he sent Deng Chanyu out to offer assistance if needed. As Earth Traveler Sun was used to fighting on foot and Kongshan was a general accustomed to fighting on a horse, Kongshan was in a difficult position. He was hit by the dwarf general several times, though not seriously, and soon realized that he'd been tricked. He quickly swept his rays of light towards Sun. When he saw the colored light, Earth Traveler Sun twisted his body and disappeared. Kong was looking for the missing dwarf when Deng Chanyu unexpectedly threw a stone at him and wounded him seriously in the face. As he turned and ran away, Deng Chanyu hit him with another stone in the neck. Earth Traveler Sun and Deng Chanyu returned in triumph. Back in his camp, Kongshan sat seething in rage. He hated Deng Chanyu for hitting him twice. After he cured his wounds, he was eager to take revenge. Early the next morning, he demanded to see Deng Chanyu. But Jiang Ziya forbade her to answer the challenge, because he knew how much Kongshan hated her. He ordered the board of truce be hung on the gate, and Kong could only return to his camp in disappointment. Burning Lamp arrived the following day and was informed of what Kongshan had done. "I know very well. I've come today to take care of him," Burning Lamp said. Jiang Ziya ordered his men to remove the board of truce, and Kongshan rushed over at once with a challenge. Burning Lamp went to meet him. Kongshan knew the immortal well and said with a smile, "Burning Lamp, why have you come to get involved? If you knew anything about me, you would lay down your arms and surrender. You ought to accompany King Wu into the 5 passes." Kongshan burst into laughter. "You may have magic powers, but you know nothing of mine," he answered derisively. Burning Lamp did not know what kind of creature he was confronting. He said, "If you are powerful, why have you ignored heaven's wishes? All that talk is nonsense. How can you rebels be right and the throne which has been destined by heaven wrong? You beast! You brag too much." Burning Lamp cursed. Kongshan waved his cutlass against the immortal, and Burning Lamp met the attack with his sword. After just 3 rounds, Burning Lamp tossed up his sea-conquering pearls, but Kongshan took them with his light. In astonishment, Burning Lamp threw up his purple gold alms bowl, but it too fell into the magic light. Burning Lamp roared, Where's my disciple?" A huge eagle arrived with a whirl of violent wind. When he saw the eagle, Kong Shun pushed his helmet and a red beam soared up into the sky. Burning Lamp stared at it with his magic eye, but still could not uncover the mysterious general's identity. A great noise, like cracking and rattling, filled the sky, and about 2 hours later, the eagle fell to the ground with a thud. Kong Shun spurred his horse forward, and when he flashed his magic light toward Burning Lamp, the immortal turned himself into an auspicious beam and ran away. Back in the camp, Burning Lamp told Jiang Ziya how terrible the magic light was. When the eagle returned, the immortal asked him, "Do you know what kind of creature he is?" "I saw only that his whole body is protected by auspicious clouds in 5 colors. It seems that he also has 2 wings, but I don't know what kind of bird he is." Just then it was reported that a Buddha was waiting outside the camp gate. Both Jiang Ziya and Burning Lamp walked out to meet the visitor. He was thin, had a yellow face, 2 coils of hair, and 2 flowers on his head. In his hand was a tree branch. The visitor said, "I am a Buddha from the western region. Kong Shun is blocking your path, and I have come to take him back with me." Burning Lamp invited him to enter the camp. The visitor there could feel in every particle of dust the spirit of destruction. "I hear that the western region is really a paradise. It's very kind of you to come and help the people in this land. May I know your honorable name, brother?" Burning Lamp inquired. "My name is Candy. I had the pleasure of meeting Grand Completion when he went to get the Green Lotus flag. Kong Shun is predestined to be with us, so I've come to invite him to share our happiness in the western region." Burning Lamp said happily, "We'll be able to march on if you can subdue Kong Shun today. That is surely the best for all." Candy said as he went out to meet Kong Shun. If you want to know what happened next, please read the next chapter.